Hey, this is Matt Young from King Parrot, and you're listening to Collision with Cat Unwrapped. Hello.
Hi, Matt. It's Cat.
Hey, Cat, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
Like, you just toured the UK and Europe with Soulfly. Not just toured with them, like, you were getting up on stage and singing with them. They were getting on stage and singing with you. Like, what was it like?
Oh, it was an amazing experience for us because, I mean, we've done one Europe tour with Weed Eater last year, but it was only kind of a smaller tour. It was just a couple of weeks. So getting the opportunity to go around with Soulfly and go to, you know, like so many places where we hadn't been before, and, you know, going up right over to Eastern Europe and heading down to Spain and as well as, you know, extensively doing the UK and Ireland and Scandinavia and everything. It was a really great introduction for us to the European sort of metal fans. I guess, having the chance to get up on stage with Max and everything is always great. And he was, you know, sort of insistent that we do it, you know. So, I mean, you don't argue with Max when he wants you to get up on stage. So it was really cool. I think in London we played at the O2 Academy in Islington, and Max's brother Igor was there, and he got up and did Roots with Soulfly, and then we did the Ace of Spades, and Igor was playing drums. So it was just that was just a little surreal moment for backstage with Max and Igor, you know, who I'd just, you know, grown up loving, and doing a tribute to Lemmy in London, of all places, to a sold-out show. It was incredible. So yeah, it was really, really great tour for us. And, you know, just sort of, you're getting up and doing Ace of Spades every night with Max, you just sort of, all right, cool. It was always a party, you know. It was great.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask if it was surreal, but you actually said it was, so.
Yeah, it was totally, you know, I mean, Max is just the most cool, mellow, easygoing guy. You know, everything's just really cool on tour with those guys. So it was great. And, you know, they also had, Max also had on the tour Lodi Kong and Insight. So they played first and second, and then we were the main support band. So Lodi Kong is obviously his son's, Igor and Zion's band, and Insight is his stepson Richie's band.
Right.
So yeah, it was. We had the whole tribe on board, you know, and they sort of roadied for Soulfly and helped out, and yeah, it was interesting to see how they operated, and it's certainly a unique little thing that they've got going on there, the Soulfly tribe. So yeah,
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. I don't know the first band you mentioned, but I know Inside, and I actually really like them.
They're really, really lovely guys, and they're a good band. They're really good at what they do. It's very American heavy metal. And Lodi Kong is Igor and Zion. They're Max and Gloria's two sons. That's their band, and they're awesome. They're more up my alley as opposed to Insight. But, yeah, really, really good band, Lodi Kong, and all young dudes and keen and just the friendliest. You know, they're kind of new and just sort of coming up through the ranks and just a really good band. And, yeah, it was just great to be out there with them.
Yeah, and, like, knowing you and what you said about how easygoing Max is and easy to get along with, and, well, I can see why you two hit it off so well because you're a very similar personality.
Yeah, I guess to a certain degree, yeah. I mean, you know, if you've probably seen, either of us on stage, you'd probably think the opposite. But, you know, I mean, it's a show, it's entertainment, and, you know, that's what you get up and do, I guess, and off the stage, it's a totally different thing. So, yeah, but Max, you know, he's a really great guy, and I just, you know, someone that's just, he's just a road warrior. He's committed, you know, like their new song, you know, we sold our souls to metal. Well, he's certainly done that, you know. He's certainly done that, and he's just continually worked at it and continually, you know, keeps putting out new material and putting his best foot forward. And I think it's a testament to, you know, the hard work that he's done over the years, that he's still got such a solid fan base. So, yeah, nothing but great words. Matt is a good guy.
Well, actually, when I interviewed him, it was very important to him to sort of give back and to help young bands sort of get a start in the industry. But I just realised that what you've told me is that you were like main headline right bang smack in the middle of the Cavalier family. So did you feel like part of the family during that tour?
Well, again, I mean, not really. I mean, we were certainly the weird Aussies on the tour, that's for sure. You know, we were certainly the odd ones out. But it was a great thing to be a part of, and they've certainly got their, you know, the way that they do things, and they've got it down to a T. They know exactly how they're doing it, and they've all sort of been part of the show, like Richie, who's the singer in Insight, and Max the Stepson, he does merch for Soulfly, and everyone sort of chips in and helps out. And yeah, so, I mean, I guess we were travelling in a separate vehicle, they were all travelling in a big bus. We had our own little bus. So yeah, we were kind of sort of a little bit on the outer, but it was a great experience for us to be there and be part of it. So yeah, and it looks like we'll be getting more opportunities to sort of head over to Europe. Probably, you know, in the next 6 months to a year, we'll be back over there again, I reckon. So yeah, it certainly will help open a lot of doors for us.
Yeah, definitely. And well, you've done that yourselves, of course. You kicked down the doors that was allowed doors to open. But what you said about being the odd Aussies out, well, you guys, I mean, you've got such an interesting range and colourful range of personalities in your band. You never fit in no matter where you go. Anyway, you're always standing out.
Yeah, and we kind of like to keep it that way. It's kind of good, you know, because in this day and age, there's so many bands that are similar and sound similar, and so many people, you know, going, oh, this is the genre we're going to play, and this is how, and we just sort of don't subscribe to any of that, which may hurt us in some ways, but it helps us in all the right ways, I think, and it helps us in the right ways with what we're trying to achieve. And I think it'll be beneficial for us in the long run as well. So, yeah, we do kind of tend to stand out a little bit, and that's fine with us, and we're under no illusions of what we're trying to do and how we want to do it. We just do our own thing, and that's fine with us. So, yeah, we're certainly not imitators, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And before we do move on to what you've got happening, I want to ask just do you think, the most valuable thing that you will take away from this tour of Europe that you've done?
The most valuable thing that we'll take away from it? That's a tough one. I don't know what the most valuable thing was, but I think being on a tour, like a long tour like that, it was 6 weeks. I think it was 36 shows all up. I think we had like 3 or 4 days off maybe in the whole tour. And one of the things that I really noticed within the band anyway is that we really sort of focused on the performances this time, and we were lucky enough to have a sort of like a mini nightliner for this tour. So we had 9 bunks, and we could all sort of sleep on the bus, and it wasn't super comfortable or anything like that, but we could all sort of go to sleep, and our driver would drive us to the next show. And that was the first time we'd ever really been afforded that sort of comfort on a tour. Mm-hmm. Whereas previously we'd sort of just had a van, and we'd kind of sleep in the van, or we crash on people's couches and all that sort of thing. So that was kind of cool. So I guess in a way, it's, you know, we invested in that, and it sort of helped us to be able to get the sort of rest that you need, I guess, which sort of, I mean, you're kind of always tired on tour anyway, but, you know, just being able to sleep after the show is awesome. Packing up, loading in, putting all your stuff in the trailer or whatever, and then going and just being able to crash out if you wanted to do that was great. So it's something for us to strive towards and keep working towards, and it did allow us the time and all that to be able to just really sort of focus on our performances a little bit more, and just to be able to put in a sort of little bit of extra effort in those areas, which sometimes when you're, you know, driving around in the States or Canada or whatnot, you're kind of not afforded that stuff. So yeah, for us that was important, and I think some of the performances that we put in Europe were really, really solid, and I think we won a lot of new fans over. Although Soulfly is a pretty mainstream metal sort of band, I would say. So I think our brand of metal maybe kind of went over some of the fans' heads a little bit, but I think certainly there was a lot of extreme metal fans there, and they got what we were trying to do and appreciated it and everything. So I think for the most part we made a lot of new fans, which was really good.
Right. I think what you're saying then basically is that when you've got a heavy tour ahead that it pays to invest a little bit more in taking care of yourselves as people in your comfort and being able to put the energy into shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that was something that we sort of decided on before we went, is that we wanted to make sure that we were able to put in our best effort because it was an important tour for us. So, yeah, I'm quite confident that sort of little bracket before we put out the next record and all that sort of thing, that we'll probably get another dip at touring Europe and, you know, talking to some people at the moment. So hopefully we'll have something to announce for later in the year to head back there, hopefully before it gets too bloody cold. Cause we were up in Finland the last show that we played, and there was a metre of snow, and it was -5 or -6 degrees or something like that. And I've just never been in that sort of coldness, and it was ridiculous.
No, I don't want that. You can have that.
Yeah, look, it's not as bad as what it's saying. Like, it's cold, but it's not as bad as what you'd think. But yeah, you sort of, got the beanie on, you got the scarf, gloves, all the clothes that you can get on, and you were still walking around and all that. I think the last show we played was up in Finland. It was about 50 k's from the Russian border, about 8 hours sort of northeast of Helsinki, and it was just cool being up there and just being up that far, and even having people come to the show that knew about our band from up there. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
It's amazing how connected the metal world is these days, and there was certainly at every show that we played, there was people there that were there for King Parrot, so it was brilliant and really encouraging for us.
Yeah. And, well, you guys, you must have the tightest, most toned show out of any Australian band, because you never stop playing, and on top of doing 36 shows in 6 weeks in Europe, you've come home now to tour Australia again.
Yeah, well, we got offered to do the Black and the Globe Festival up in Alice Springs, which is happening this weekend, and we got offered to do Murderfest in Perth, which is something that we've been talking to those guys for a while about doing, and they really wanted to get us on board for that, so we're going to do that as well. And then got a couple of supports with Five Finger Death Punch, and then we'll do a few regional shows, hit obviously Frankston and Geelong and our favourite Ballarat, of course, and then do Canberra and Wollongong. And we love going out to the regional places. And if we can try and get out to those places once a year for a show on top of the international stuff, then that's awesome, because we've got friends out there, and we know that we've got fans out there that want to support our band, and we want to be able to repay them by coming to play, and just to show the people out there that just because we're doing all this other stuff doesn't mean that we can't come out there and play for them as well. And as much fun as those big shows are, some of my favourite shows are the smaller ones. So the Corova Lounge and the Barwon Club, and down at the Pally Bar in Frankston, some of those shows are like seriously my favourite shows. Like, I don't know if I remember the last show we played at the Corova Lounge was absolutely ridiculous. And I remember there was a drunk guy that just got up on stage and was like falling all over the place, and he smashed the drum kit over. We had to stop the song, I think, and the security guard grabbed him and dragged him out. And I said, no, don't kick him out, And so they let him come back in, and we started the song again, and he just got straight back up on stage and fell over the drum kit again, and then they kicked him out. It was so funny.
That was when you told them that you had your own insurance?
Yeah. Which we do. But, it was just hilarious. So funny, and they're the things that you remember, just funny things like that, at the time it's kind of annoying, but when you look back at it, you can just laugh. I mean, I think one of the last times we played down in Frankston, some guy picked me up off the stage and had his arms around me, and then he was so drunk he just fell over, and my guts just landed straight on his head and knocked him out cold. He was out cold. We had to stop the set. They called an ambulance. And it was just hilarious, and I was just he was fine. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but he was just so drunk, he just didn't know what he was doing. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? And then he had a whole tight, I couldn't do anything. He just had a tight grip around my waist and just knocked himself out. It was just, some of the things that we've seen at our shows, it's it's beyond belief, some of the shit that we've seen.
We should tell people that these are memories, not challenges.
Yeah. No, look, we're always up for anything. Like, we just love having a good time and having a party. And there's that balance of humour and intensity and aggression and stuff. And, it's important for a lot of people to get that shit out. And it's important for me to get it out. And it's important for our guys in our band to get it out of our systems. And that's why we love doing what we do, because we've got a lot of stuff going on, and everyone's got their lives and shit going on. And this is our outlet to express what we want to get out there. And we sort of depend on it now. It's kind of like our therapy. So, and if it can help anyone else, which I know, like, we've had lots of messages and lots of mail and stuff from people from all over the place, sort of saying, your music helps us get through this shit. And that's good, because I know that there's a lot of, angst and people pissed off with the world and all the shit that goes on in it. And if we can sort of help in any sort of way for people to have that release, then that's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, great. And you obviously have a lot of aggression to get out, because you just never stop playing shows.
Well, yeah, clearly.
But that's why he's such a nice guy.
No, well, look, it's just, you just want to get, it's something that I've loved doing since I was a kid. And I've loved those bands that have had that sort of more intense sound or more intense approach. And one of my favourite bands, Australian bands of all time, is from Ballarat, Damaged. Who were just the masters of doing that, and just had this really nasty sound that I just don't think has ever really been emulated in such a way since. And they're such a big influence on our band, and it's really sort of motivating factor. And the fact that those guys never really got out to do the sort of international touring and stuff that King Parrot's doing now, it sort of drives us even harder to keep going with it and trying to put that Aussie sort of sound on the map a bit.
Yeah. And the thing is too, that every time you do tour Australia now, you've been overseas, just playing and experiencing and learning, and probably every time you come, your show has grown even more. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. It's certainly, I think you're continually striving to better yourself and play tighter and make things better, and just tightening up little bits and pieces here and there, or getting a new bit of equipment or something that you see that someone else is doing and you go, oh, wow, that really works, or that doesn't work, and just bringing it into your mix of little tricks and whatnot. And you always sort of pick things up on every tour. And yeah, I would hope that there's gradual improvement. It's kind of hard when you're sort of so heavily involved to see it, but it's going to be nice, just to sort of come back to playing to some Aussie audiences and getting, obviously when you're playing in Europe to a bunch of people that have never heard of you or seen you before, they're a little bit standoffish. And, by the end of the set, usually we try and win them over, or we've got some of them at least, but it's certainly not the same as when you come here and play to Australian audiences and they go mental from the beginning. It's not, because obviously they've had a lot more time and they know what we do. Yeah, but we're slowly getting there. I think in North America we're starting to really see it, and hopefully in Europe, once we get things rolling over there a little bit more, that we'll see that as well. And it's an exciting time for the band, because we have been able to sort of branch out into all the places around the world that we've sort of wanted to do, and now it's just keep going. We're there now, so we're there. We've done we've done a couple of Europe tours. We've done I think 7 North American tours, and we're about to do our 8th coming up. And it's an exciting time for the band, and we've got some new songs that we're going to try and play on this tour as well, which is really exciting too. So it's a good time. We've written a few tracks that we're going to try and roll as well. So you should see a couple of those at the Ballarat show, hopefully. Awesome. I was going to say, people are afraid to stand back at your Australian shows now, because I remember in the early days of King Parrot coming to Ballarat, and you would literally get off the stage and push people forward if they were standing back.
Yeah. And I'll still do that if they're standing back.
So, yeah.
Make no mistake.
People know when they come to King Parrot, they can't stand back.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. And, but
it is what you've generated, because I've seen people at probably your shows even standing back for the support band, and then the minute you're getting set up, they're already at the front of the stage.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the hard work that you put in.
Yeah.
And that consistency, and that's what we want to be remembered for or known for, is that consistency and coming back to the places where people have appreciated us, and Ballarat is certainly one of those places. So that's why we keep coming back. We've got lots of good friends there, and it's always a fun time. It's always a good show. We always sort of manage to book ourselves there when it's bloody freezing though, so hopefully it's not too cold. We're there in April, but we're usually there in the middle of winter, sort of loading out, 2 o'clock in the morning or something, where it's bloody freezing and all that. But hopefully it won't be too bad this time.
And your consistency in coming through the regional towns and that particularly is you're becoming part of kids' growing up lives and probably inspiring so many metal bands around Australia to get started. It's awesome. Yeah,
well, you can only hope so, can't you? I guess what we try and do is you try and give people opportunities to do, the same way that we get an opportunity from someone like Max Cavalera, for instance. We're doing it on a smaller scale, but it is what it is. We just try and help as many bands as we can and get young bands or our friends' bands on the lineups and give them an opportunity to play in front of an audience as well. And hopefully they can win some new fans, the same as what Max has done for us, taking us around Europe and exposing us to his audience. It's the same thing. You just got to reap what you sow, I guess. And that's it's a really important thing in the metal world. And we're just sort of so lucky and grateful that the metal fans are so supportive. It's just incredible. So, yeah, it's been a great start to the year for us. And, good Aussie tour coming up. Obviously, we're not going everywhere, but we're going to quite a few places that we haven't been in a while. And we might save a few little spots for later in the year. We've probably got one more Aussie tour in us later in the year. I'm not sure exactly what's happening with that yet, but it'll be a good one, that's for sure.
Awesome. And, well, I think partly your dedication to the fans and to, even though you're going and doing these massive tours overseas, you're still coming back to the regional shows. It inspires dedicated fans. And you are actually starting this tour in Alice Springs this weekend on Sunday at Black in the Globe Festival. Are you headlining that?
Yeah, we are, yep. I think it goes for 2 days, and I think the main day is the Sunday, which we're headlining. And, yeah, the guys up in Alice Springs have always been really supportive of King Parrot, so we just can't wait to get back up there.
Yeah, and then the 8th of April you're doing Murderfest in Perth, which you're headlining?
That's correct, yep.
And then you've got Frankston on the 15th, Ballarat Corova Lounge on the 16th, another Saturday night, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Geelong on the 17th at the Barwon Club. After that, you're playing Canberra at the Basement on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And is it the 23rd you wrap things up in Wollongong at Waves?
Yeah, at Wollongong, yeah. So, yeah, Wollongong's always been great to us. So, yeah, I think it'll be really, really good. So, yeah, it is a good little scene in Wollongong. I think on the last sort of regional, when we did the album launch tour, I think Wollongong was one of the best regional shows on the whole tour. So, yeah, it's a lot of people there and a lot of metal fans. So, it should be great.
Yeah. Then do you think you might go and record some of this new music you're road testing?
No, we're going to probably spend a little bit more time writing after this Australian tour. We've got about 3 weeks off after the tour finishes, and then we're going to North America. We have a tour booked with a Canadian band called Voivod, who are obviously legendary band. Another one, one of those bands where you kind of go, wow, Are we really going to tour with Voivod? Yes, we're going to go out with Voivod. So, and our friend will be the main support, and our friend Childbite from Michigan will be opening the tour. And that's I don't know. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but lots of the shows are popping up here and there, and we're playing all from pretty much from Texas all the way up the West Coast and up through the center a little bit. We do Colorado and Utah and stuff like that. And then we go up to Canada and go all the way through Canada. Obviously, Boycott are a Canadian band, so it's a heavily, it'll be heavily promoted and publicised in Canada, I think, and we go all the way through. And I think it ends up at Amnesia Fest, which is in Montebello in Quebec, and it's a huge festival, probably not dissimilar to, something like Soundwave. So, yeah, it's going to be an amazing tour, and if we finish up over there, it'll be even better. So,
yeah.
Should be cool. Should be really cool.
It's just absolutely amazing to sit back and watch you guys and to see the effort that you've put in and how it's paying off, and even then you don't rest, you just keep going and going, and it's like more amazing things every time. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad it's enjoyable to watch. It's probably even more enjoyable doing it, I would imagine. So.
I would say so.
Yeah, so we just sort of take it one at a time, and obviously you get a few things on the boil at times, but we've managed to keep it going all this time, and I'm really sort of proud of that, and really, there's a lot of the bands that I look up to and respect. You kind of try and model your band and the way that you run your business and all that around that. And, yeah, obviously there's lots of things happening here and there. And, look, I'm not going to say it's not stressful at times and all those sorts of things financially and all that sort of stuff. It is. But we've managed to get by so far. We've managed to survive. The band's growing and getting out to new places and building the name up, and some of the new stuff that we're writing, I feel, is the best stuff that we've done to date. So we're just going to keep pumping it out, and we want to be one of those sort of long-haul bands, not one of the bands that sort of just gets popular and then sort of fizzles out. We want to sort of continually build it, and I'm sort of glad that we haven't really been a band that sort of had sort of that super huge success or anything like that, because we're just building it up and just building it up and improving, and that, to me, that's the sign of a really good band. I always look at a band like Clutch, who are one of my favourite bands, and I just love what they do, and just love the way that you can see the growth in the band from the beginning, from when they did that first album and the first EP, and to what they are now. And one of my old bands, we actually supported them, and it was at the Corner, and it was a great show and everything, and now they're sold out the Forum, and it's been a sort of, I think that's just over a sort of space of about 10 or 12 years or something like that. But they're just a great band, and I just really admire the way they go about things. And, yeah, it's I don't know where the hell I was going with that, but that's sort of what I sort of envision for us, and, yeah, just sort of grow it organically,
Yeah, you want to build it over time. You don't want to be an overnight sensation.
Yeah, well, and, playing the sort of music that we play, we never really would be. And you kind of, if you're going to do it, you've kind of got to be in it for the long haul. But at the same time, there's that sort of, I guess it's a bit of an Aussie thing, I think, where you tend to get chopped down if you stick your head up a little bit. And I don't want to be sort of, afraid of putting in a great effort. I think there's sort of a lot of bands, Aussie bands have sort of fallen by the wayside a little bit, is that they sort of don't want to be seen to be trying too hard just in case they fail or whatever. And,
or the tall poppy syndrome comes in and they start getting attacked. And
a little bit, yeah, and it's like, you know what, I just haven't got time for that shit. I just want to do it and do it well and keep pushing forward and keep trying to improve, and that's all you can do, and we'll just keep taking the chances and the opportunities as they come.
Yeah, and you could end up with mates like Max Cavalera.
Yeah, well, that's right,
Yeah.
So, we've got a few good mates like that, so it's cool. It's nice to have those people on board and have those people supporting your band. Yeah, it's incredible, really. Like, for a bunch of drop kicks from Melbourne to have, people like Max Cavalera and Phil Anselmo and Jesse from Kill Switch Engage, and even I think the bass player from Carcass came to our show in London, and we supported them when they played in Melbourne. It was last year or the year before. Yeah, it was, I love Carcass. It's such a great band, and he came up and we were chatting and everything, and he's like, "Do you mind if we get a photo?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, yeah, of course, man. Unreal. I think they're out on tour with Slayer in the States at the moment.
Wow.
And I was just like, yeah, I mean, they're just another legendary band, and it's cool. The metal scene's so small, and it's not as big as what you think it is when you're sort of a little kid in Australia, I guess. You're sort of going, oh, wow, look, these bands are all massive, but sort of when you kind of thrust into the middle of it, you kind of go, wow, well, everyone just kind of knows everyone, and everyone's really sort of cool and wants to help each other. So it's a great thing to be a part of.
And I think, like you as a band, you know you're doing well when you can tour the country and not even bother naming the tour.
Oh, yeah, you know, what I mean, far out.
You don't need to. You're King Parrot. That's all people need to know, isn't it?
I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, you know, I just like the artwork. I was like, oh, what are we going to write about that? What are we going to call it? The Spider Tits Tour or something? Like, that was pretty much what the pit of the artwork is. I was like, we could do that, but I think the artwork was good enough for itself. And I think people know what to expect now here in Australia at a King Parrot show. So we could have gone, hey, it's this tour or that tour or whatever, but, you know, we might do it on the next one or something.
Yeah. Whose artwork is it?
That's my friend Boyd Sinnott. He did that. He also did the artwork for the Dead Set album cover. Right. And all the booklet and everything. He did all that. So, yeah, he's a really talented guy, and he's done a lot of stuff for us. And he's also the parking inspector in the Shit on the Liver video. Uh-huh. And, yeah, he's really, you know, works closely with the band and has a lot of input into our videos and stuff as well. So, yeah, he's sort of like a silent partner or something like that, you could say, in the band. And, he's a really talented and sort of artistic sort of guy. Stuff out in ways that we probably couldn't do ourselves. So.
Yeah, and I will say once again, people can find you at King Parrot Band on Facebook, and the tour starts on Sunday the 27th and finishes on April the 23rd, and you can find out details about that at King Parrot Band. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it's always awesome talking to you. Yeah,
you too, mate.
Is there something you want to say to people?
Come to the shows.
Yeah.
Come to the shows. We want to play for you. We want you, even if you hate our music, I guarantee that you will be entertained one way or another, and you will laugh and get wet and have fun, and it'll be good. And, yeah, I don't know. What else can I I'll show you my bum for free. That's complimentary with entry. Flats will dance for you. I'll probably jump on you at some point.
I actually remember seeing people hanging from the roof in Corova Lounge last time too.
Yeah, exactly. You can hang from the roof if you want. You can stand on one of the bar tables if you want. You can get on the stage, but I wouldn't stay there for too long because you might end up with a boot up your ass. You know, all those sorts of things. It's a fun time. So, yeah, that's the thing that I like about our band is that the music is what it is, and that's the music that we love playing and all that sort of thing, but we kind of tend to draw in people from other walks of life just for the spectacle itself, and people often go, oh, we don't really like that sort of music, but we like King Parrot because it's so ridiculous, and that's cool with us. That's fine.
No, you give people permission to just let go for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We just want people to have fun, and we just want to have fun, and hopefully no one gets hurt along the way.
Yeah, I think maybe you're wanting people to be close to the stage has made people feel like they're more part of your show. So,
well, it is. I think, yeah, the audience does make it for the King Parrot shows, and we'll do everything we can to encourage.
Yeah, they get to let go of their aggression too.
Yeah, exactly, and we feed off that, and vice versa. So it's everyone benefits.
Great. Thank you very much. It's always great to catch up, and I look forward to seeing you in Ballarat on
absolutely
the 16th of April.
No worries. We will have a good time. And it's a Saturday night too. Like sometimes we played, I think, Sundays and Thursdays in Ballarat, and I was like, if we could get to Ballarat on a Saturday, it'd be good. I want to give it the best opportunity to succeed that we can. So, yeah, Saturday night in Ballarat, hopefully we'll smash it and we'll get lots of people there. It's kind of hard down there sometimes, but hopefully we can. I'd love to see the Corova Lounge just jam-packed, you know. I think it'd be awesome, and I think we can do it, you know.
Awesome. Thank you, and good luck with the tour.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in a few weeks in Ballarat. It'll be great to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. And I just look forward to watching the adventures of King Parrot.
Yeah, they ain't going to stop, so that's for sure.
Awesome. Thanks. See ya.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.